I'm Luke, welcome back to Photo Byte, and today we're going to look at 10 tips how to take care of your camera. Let's get into it. Often overlooked is taking care of your camera. Once you buy it, you're pretty careful with it for about 6 months, and then of course we get very confident with our new piece of gear and we may start to let things slide. Now what we're going to show you are some very affordable ways of taking care of your camera without breaking the bank, and some of them you may know, some of them you may not, so do have a look and see for yourself and see if there's anything that you're doing, anything that you're not doing, and let us know down in the comments below if we missed anything. So as always, let's get into it. So before we dive right into it, we're going to talk about how to hold the camera. Now it might not sound like a care tip, you may be a bit confused right now, but it all will make sense in just a moment. Now it's very important how you hold the camera, because if you hold it from the side, you're not supporting the mount, and if you hold it from here, you're not really supporting the mount either. What you want to do is hold it underneath. So that way you're supporting the mount, especially if you've got big zoom lenses. This is going to make a difference because you're putting less stress there. So you're going to avoid damaging the lens and the camera over time. Now with the right hand, it's very straightforward. It's just down to ergonomics. Thumb goes in the back and then your hands wrap round. Very simple, but you want to keep your left hand underneath the camera. So you're looking after the mount, but also if for whatever reason that hand slips, you're still holding on to it. Rather than you holding it from the top, there's still a chance it might slip. Holding it from the back, there's really nothing for you to grab onto securely, whereas underneath you can get your index finger and your thumb around the lens and it stops anything from happening. So that's our first tip on taking care of your camera. Now into the next one. So the first one we would say to have a look at is getting hold of a UV filter. They're very inexpensive and very easy to use. You put it on the front of the lens and it just stops your lens element from getting scratched up and getting dust all over it as well. Just like the UV filter, it's always worth getting a screen protector, as it just stops the screen from getting scratched up over time, which can be quite annoying. Next up would be getting hold of a strap. Now you can always use the one from the factory, or you can go with a third-party strap. It really is up to you. And the great thing about one of these is that if you ever lose your grip on your camera, you got your strap to save you. Now we like using the Peak Design strap, mainly because if you go from tripod to handheld, you can always just clip in. Now getting your sensor cleaned can be quite expensive, but it's also quite inexpensive if you choose to do it at home, but do be careful when you do this, you can damage your sensor. Now next up would be storing your camera in a cool, dry place, preferably a bag, as it's more suited to getting rid of damp, and especially on those days when you're going out and it's wet and cold, you don't want to ruin your camera. Our next thing would also be getting hold of some lens wipes or some cleaning cloths. They're very good and affordable, and they just take away the dust that's sitting on your lens to stop you having to get those specks out in post later. Now be careful when putting on your lens because you can damage the mount, so do make sure that when you're using your lens you eye up the two dots that are sitting on the lens and the camera and turn either clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on your brand. Next on the list would be silicone bags. Again, very affordable. One of the nice things about them is if you do have quite a humid place, it actually takes moisture out of the air, which is very good for your camera, as any moisture near it can build up fungus and that's never good. Next up would be an SD card case. Again, just like your camera, you want to keep your cards safe. So keeping them in a card case enables you to find them easily, store them easily, and it just stops them getting lost in your bag and getting scratched up. Again, not good for your camera. We hope these 10 tips have helped you out and have given you an idea of what you could do to take care of your camera. And as we said before, if we did forget any, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and also check out our previous how-to video and see what you think about that one. And as always, my name's Luke, this is Photo Byte, and we'll see you next time.